Hey guys, Highway here. I've hit GM more times than I can count at this point on a bunch of different heroes, and I've been all the way up to rank 2 on the ladder. Today, I'll be sharing my 5 best tips that are guaranteed to get you Grandmaster in Overwatch 2. Number 1. Understand and beat your counters. Too many people blindly pick their favorite hero without thinking first, so let's dissect this. Maybe your favorite hero is Pharah, but if you're being headshot every time by an enemy Widow, what's the use? There are 2 ways that you can fix this. Number 1. Be creative and avoid specific interactions. For example, when playing Tracer, you can wait until Cassidy uses his magnetic grenade before you fight him. Or on Widowmaker, only shoot half-charge shots at Genji when he has deflect. In situation 1, you can push Cassidy and force him to land difficult shots on you instead of relying on his cooldown. In situation 2, you can make the Genji use his deflect to survive without having the chance to one-shot you with it, so long as you aren't weak and you don't charge your shot fully. Understanding what counters you and how to play against those counters makes it significantly easier to have a more specialized hero pool, and is honestly downright vital for competing against some of Overwatch's best. The second option, however, is of course, play rock, paper, scissors with your opponent and counterpick. Remember that nasty Widow that was constantly headshotting you and destroying you on Pharah? Why not just go Sombra and decloak on her when she's alone and not paying attention? It's a free pick every time, and now you're 5v4. This has generally been my approach throughout the years, and I've found an insane amount of success. The amount of times that my team gets destroyed by D.Va in Overwatch 2 just for me to go Reaper and make it impossible for her to play the game has been crazy so far, and has contributed to a really high win percentage. Take it a step further, and if you know which characters are your personal favorites, learn what their weaknesses are, and add picks to your hero pool ahead of time that shore those weaknesses up. This lets you have an answer for every game that may come your way. Can't deal with a Soldier 76 on Tracer? Practice Hanzo and add him to your hero pool. Can't deal with a Tracer on Genji? Add Cassidy to your hero pool. It'll help you avoid being stuck in a position where one hero counters your entire lineup and leaves you feeling powerless for the whole game. Number 2, don't get caught up with looking for the perfect ultimate. Ultimates in Overwatch 2 are huge. A lot of them with the new changes can be pure fight winners, and they are far less common than in Overwatch 1. That being said, I'd take a Genji who gets 3 solo blades in 6 minutes over 1 3k blade in 6 minutes any day. Use your ult to get a noticeable advantage, sometimes even just 1 pick, and try to push off of that. In GM, sometimes you use an ult to even just get cooldowns out to push. This also will double as a way to practice for those moments when you just plain miss your ultimate, or they are focusing really hard on shutting you down. If you want to be the carry, you gotta know your limits, and blading in 1v5 against a team focusing you is not going to work. Even if you do mess up your ultimate, using more ultimates over the course of a game puts the law of averages on your side. So instead of needing to be clutch in one big moment, you can instead just be good in multiple smaller moments, and that will translate to an easier to win game. By the way, are you enjoying the video? Smash the like button, destroy it, obliterate it. Thanks for the support. I'll be sure to post a lot more for you. Now, back to number 3. Pay more attention to the enemy's team comp than your comp. The temptation to be upset over having a Lucio Zen or a Roadhog instead of a D.Va can be very difficult to overcome. The best way to get past this is to look for the flaws in the enemy's team comp. If they're running a solid all-around comp, try to go after different players and identify weak links. GM players use this to their advantage all the time. On Ashe, I got a 100% win rate to GM using this trick. Try thinking like this. Does their Zen step out of position often? Does their other healer focus more on the tank and not peel for their DPS? Do their DPSs walk in straight lines sometimes and make themselves predictable to kill? Do they have a tell for when they are going to ult? Look for these and similar things that can clue you into a simple, abusable situation. You can also get similar value by looking instead for strong links. Is their tank shouldering the entire load for their team? Can their hit scans not hit the broadside of a barn? I've played Pharah into double hit scans that I know I can outduel many times, specifically so that once I kill them, I can safely chunk down the enemy tank and take them out of the game. Or maybe you know how to play Sombra and you can just perma-hack the carrying Reinhardt. This is all tying into why tip number 1 is so important. Number 4, no matter what you play, practice your aim. The most simple solution to beating other players is to just be a better aimer. Doesn't matter how smart the soldier is if you just one-shot him every time he peeks you, right? And vice versa, if you engage on Genji at the perfect moment but miss every shuriken, does that game sense really matter? Making sure your mechanics are sharpened and up to the task is one of the most underrated things for GM gameplay. A lot of people from Overwatch 1 managed to get into GM playing low mechanic heroes that had a lot of impact. In Overwatch 2, the game has shifted more into a need for being comfortable taking duels on any role and being a constant presence with your damage and your cooldowns. You need to practice aim to get as much of an edge as you can. Even I'm guilty of not practicing my aim as much as I should have in the past. And before you think it, no, it is not too late. Some think that those past a certain age can't keep up with the younger players. But with a combination of even just passable aim and good game sense, this can very quickly prove to be a false sense of comfort for them. I've taken duels with thousands of players I consider to be better aimers than me and routinely destroyed them because I catch them at the right time without cooldowns or hit them when they're walking in a straight line. It wouldn't matter though if I didn't land my shot in the first place. Make sure you stay practicing and keep your aim sharp. Number 5, be a positive force. Okay, bear with me here for a second and save the groans. I believe in something called the 30-20-50 rule. This rule is very simple. In 30% of your games, you will win. Your team will be better. The other team will have a lever or tilt. Whatever it is, you can pretty much play at your worst and still end up winning the game. 20% of your games will be losses. You will be the one with a lever, or your team will be AFK or tilted, or the other team is just playing out of their mind and not giving you an inch. And finally, the remaining 50% will come down to your gameplay deciding the game. If you gap their DPSs significantly, you get the win. If you land that clutch ult in overtime, you get the win, and etc. This helps me not get wrapped up in the games that I lose, as I couldn't do much for them anyway, and keeps me motivated to try every game because the odds of them being in the 50% are significant. It may seem hard to believe, but just keep in mind that all of my unranked GMs have a win rate of 70 to 100%, so it's absolutely doable and on pretty much any hero. The reason being positive is really important is that you reduce the chances of a game being lost due to tilt. Instead of saying, Genji, you're doing nothing, switch to a good hero, and making the Genji uncooperative, say, hey Genji, can you help me with X? Do you play Soldier or Hanzo? It gives the other player a sense of mutual respect, and generally people will want to work with you more. If they're still being difficult, then just save your energy and simply play your best, but you'd be surprised at how positively many react. And I've honestly not really had someone throw when I politely ask them to switch as opposed to when I am more aggressive. Usually the worst I can get is no when I'm being nice. Thank you guys so much for watching. We are launching the GameLeap website this month, and we'll be creating a step-by-step improvement system that anyone can use to improve fast. Our website content goes into much more depth than any of the fast food content on YouTube, so don't miss out. Pre-order your membership now at 50% off by clicking the link right here.